What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss if Batman Arkham 2020 will be hurt if it releases only on current gen. Now, I did want to have this discussion. We've talked back and forth in the past about current gen, next gen, current gen, and literally the leaks have followed, right? Current gen, next gen. It's primarily for next gen, whatever the heck that means. The recent leaks from like 2 weeks ago at this point, I think it was actually 2 weeks ago, a few days ago, said that obviously it was coming for current generation in the fall of 2020. So they keep going back and forth, but it seems like, and again we can go back to the job listings, which also said like it's a current generation game. Now you can change that, I guess, but you're hiring people based off of the job description that they'd be making a current gen game, and then when you get hired or when you get interviewed and you say, hey, actually it's going to be for next gen, well, suddenly that's a different thing. So if this game is a current gen, and I guess we can discuss if it is or if it's not, but maybe for the sake of argument, we can start with, say it is. Say it's only on current gen. Is that going to hurt the game? Well, it goes back to Arkham Origins, right? What happened with Arkham Origins? And I think when it comes to Arkham Origins, you can't say one is exactly like the other. You can't say that just because Arkham Origins didn't, and because also it is, I guess, subjective, right? One person can say Arkham Origins failed while others can say it didn't. I think when the game came out, it was given a bad rap, obviously. It sold pretty well, although not insanely well, and it did not do as well as the other three Arkham games. It's the lowest selling of the four games. And again, like at the time, I think there was just so much negativity towards the game. Now the question is, and this is a question even when we see the game, is like how much of that has passed since then, right? Like what group of people that bought Origins when they're looking at this game still remember all that stuff and still like hold a grudge or anything like that? You know what I mean? Like how is that going to affect this? Because I truly think that in the world we're in now, there is like a fond appreciation for Arkham Origins. Now, I never really thought of it as a negative game. I think literally there were some people that thought of it as a bad game or just a game that was not very good and now say it's good. And I understand even from a lot of you guys, there's a lot of love for Arkham Origins. There's a lot of love, and even other YouTubers, it's become a thing to kind of like make videos and say like how it's their favorite game or how it's actually better than a lot of the Arkham. It's like become a thing now where you get recognized more. Maybe you could even argue like by saying that, and that's not a negative thing, by the way. I'm just saying that's literally how it is, and that's good because ultimately that I think helps them in their quest for this. Because this game, again, I truly believe was never supposed to come out in fall of 2020. I think maybe 2020. We had thrown around that year and that date for a long time, and I thought that maybe like in the spring or summer, like again around the time Arkham Knight came out, I thought that would be a good time to play this game or for this game to come out. I didn't think it would push itself all the way till right before the console generation, but here we are. And now it's very possible, by the way, again, assuming it's coming out in the fall and assuming it's on current gen, the biggest assumption there is actually that it's coming out this fall, because it's very possible the game also gets pushed even later. Again, with all the rumors, with all the leaks, they bounce back and forth so much that it is definitely, I would agree with you if you say it's very hard to predict if it actually would release this fall. But if it does, if it releases on current gen, I think it's going to have a better time handling itself than last time. Truly, I think it's going to still hurt. I really do, because at the end of the day, yes, you have many, many millions of people that have the PS4, that have the Xbox One, that have PC. Now, that's assuming that it comes out day one. That's assuming it's also not an absolute train wreck on PC on launch day. But people have it. There's a lot of people that have it. And I have said, and I've tried to make it as clear as I can, people still don't always grasp on or don't even hear me all the way out. But next generation will take away from current generation. That's just how it works. Like, yes, current gen will still be important to these companies and even game development companies, right? Because you could still get some money releasing your game on it. Obviously, the main companies themselves, right? Microsoft and Sony, they still want people to buy the PS4. That's still money, but it's not insane amounts of money, and they may very well be losing money when it comes to next gen. They may actually be selling next generation consoles at a loss, so they're going to want people to buy it, right? Because, more people that buy it, at least they're going to get more games sold, which is how they're going to get money, and also their subscription services. That's how they make their money. That's the primary way Sony and Microsoft makes money. It's not on console sales. So they're going to be pushing that. So I always go back to it. I mean, it will hurt it. And just from like a basic consumer perspective, you look at me, even just me, and I'm just one person, okay? But I'm the one talking. It's the video you guys are watching, so you guys came here. But in all honesty, though, look at me. When I think of the fall period, I mean, I'm bracing myself for spending like $1,000. Truly, and that's, by the way, only on PS5. Because you're going to buy the PS5, it's probably going to be $500 or even $450, but then with tax, $500. I'll probably buy a second controller, although maybe I won't because these controllers, rumor has it, will work. But maybe I buy an extra controller, so that's another $50, $60. Maybe I buy 3, 4, 5 games with it. Right there, I mean, that's hundreds of dollars. So, like, I'm spending $1,000 at least on the next generation of consoles. My primary focus will probably be on next generation consoles. But because it's also me, your friendly YouTube creator, Alex, and it's me making these videos, you can bet I will cover Arkham, and I'm going to be playing a ton of that game. I will get my money's worth, and I will fully 1,010% support that game, okay? But not everybody's going to do that. If you're going to go all in with next gen, you are going to, in a way, leave current gen behind in some capacity. Maybe not fully, but you are a little bit. So what I'm basically saying in this little section, this little act 2 of the video, is it will get hurt at least a little. Just, it absolutely will, unless it's on both. But even if it's a cross-gen game, I would say that would probably alleviate a lot of the problems. Because if you have, and also the fact that it's backwards compatible, if you buy it on PS4 and you can then play it on PS5, I mean, that can help a lot, right? Because if there's not that many games on PS5, maybe I only buy 2 PS5 games, and then the thing I do mostly on my PS5 for the holiday season, like November, December, even January, is I play PS4 games on it. If that's like the primary thing I do, Batman is a phenomenal candidate for being that game, right? And if it comes out like in October, literally like a week, 2, 3 weeks before next gen, it lines itself up really nicely. So there are even pros you could look at it in that situation. And also, again, going back to like the final pro is I think we've moved past the negativity to the point of, well, here's the deal. There is still negativity. Warner Bros. Montreal has been under fire for a very, very long time. People are fed up, all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, people are going to buy this Arkham game. We haven't had an and again, we talked about brand power. We talked about why the name is so powerful. Think about it, too. It's a return to the Arkham games. Again, you're just a casual gamer. You've played the Arkham games before. It's been almost 5.5 years, say if it comes out in the fall, since Arkham Knight, okay? You're seeing Arkham again for the very first time, you're pretty inclined to buy it, right? Because it's been literally half a decade since you last played an Arkham game, and now you see it. That is a big deal. And honestly, that resonates with a lot of people. I guarantee you, we'll get, if it's called Arkham whatever, we'll get a lot of those articles, we'll get a lot of those videos where it's like, it's a return to Arkham, like we're going back into that universe, and that 1,000% will help the game out. And I think that's part of the reason why it'll be called Arkham. So I think it's got a lot going for it. Truly, I mean, to be honest with you, I think I'd always teetered the line of saying if it was going to be a pro or con. I think there are definitely cons to it. I think it can get hurt by it. But the more I think about it, the more I think that just general talk about this game, like the general approach people are having to this game, I think that people will be there to support it. Like, it's going to have the initial wave. Now, again, we do not represent everybody. Again, we're just a select group. Even when this game gets announced and these videos get bigger, and if there's 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people, whatever, however many people there are, it's still a fraction. Even if you get a couple 100,000, the game, you'd probably want it to sell 6, 7, 8, 9 million. So we do not represent, we don't have everybody who's buying the game watch these videos. So I can't talk for everybody. And that's why I'm throwing in all these different like pictures for you, right? Because not everybody is exactly the same. Maybe it does do well with, like, yeah, obviously all of us are going to buy it. But how does it do past all of us? Well, again, the name can help it. The ability to play it on cross-play, that will help it if that's a thing, and if that actually happens, that will definitely help the game. So there are lots of things that will help the game out, but at the same time, there are some negatives. Again, being so close to next gen, people only have limited amounts of money. And again, final thing, like I said in the beginning of this video, it is hard to discuss. Ultimately, the good thing is we can have this. I mean, for some people, it's good. For some people, they probably don't want to hear me talk at all. But the good thing is we will be able to have this discussion again because this is just speculation. It may not come out in the fall. It may actually be next gen. It may be crossplay. It may not be crossplay. There's a lot of questions still to be answered. And when we get those answers, like, hey, turns out this game literally comes out 2 weeks before next gen. And, oh, it's not, like, rumors were wrong. It's not cross-gen. But, like, so it's not PS4 and PS5. But it is backwards compatible, so you can play it. So how does that all affect it, right? So there are definitely still some things that need to get filled out and that will solve, like, we're going to get more answers over the coming months. That's what's very, very exciting about all this stuff is these are kind of like the lead-up questions we can have, right? Even a lot of the videos I've made talking about, like, the things we want in this game, the things we don't want in this game, these are lead-up things without anything to go off of. I mean, there are some things, but not a ton. And then when the game gets announced, when we get some info on the game, we get to have these discussions, but mega discussions, and really talk about these things even better. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this game would get hurt if it only comes out on current gen? Let me know. Again, lots of questions still to be answered, and I'm sure we will get those answers, and we'll talk about those answers over the coming months. As always, let me know in the comments if you guys see anything, if you guys hear anything Arkham. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about Arkham related. New videos that go up every 2-3 days on the channel, Batman related. You guys truly, truly rock. Make sure you are liking these videos, leaving your comments, sharing them, all that kind of stuff. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you all on the next Arkham video.